Hey, we always live Elvis.
Hey, Memphis Mafia kid, Teresa, and we're back today with some more viewers' questions.
All right, Tina Kent wants to know, what do you think Elvis would think of the world today with all the technology?
Wow, I mean, where to begin on that? I think with he would he would have fun with a lot of it. Uh, you know, in the day it was golf carts and go karts and today, I mean, they've got side by side. Of course, back then they had dune buggies, but they got the side by sides now, and uh, 4 wheelers and stuff. I think those things that he definitely would have had some of tried. Uh,
What about I think technology? They're talking about computer type,
yeah. Well,
internet.
hey, who's answering this? Me or you?
I'm just leading you along when you get lost.
No, you're right. I was going to get to that though, but thank you, my dear lovely wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how we are at each other, so you got to excuse us. But yeah, as far as like computers, laptops, which and then the tablets. The tablets we love to play the games and stuff. I think he would like tinker and probably doing stuff like that. Now, how many he went through?
I was going to say, how many think you
Yeah,
threw
from
against the
from
wall?
getting pissed off, maybe from big or
Yeah.
which I'm sure would have happened. But I think, in just my opinion, but knowing how he was, I think a lot of it he would have been amused with and interested in. Now, just how far certain things he would take it, computers. I don't know that he would actually, spend a lot of time, like I said, on that. But there again, he could have. But I definitely know, like I said, he would have probably went through some.
All right, Charlie Jackson asks, what do you think of Spa Guy and Trey?
Who?
Spa Guy and Trey.
Uh, that simple question. I mean, simple answer for me. I don't ever think about them. Next question, please.
Okay. I must think this is Guinness, Ghinnes.
Yes, I didn't know how to
Guinness.
pronounce it. That's why I'm letting you read them.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how.
Was Elvis a nail biter?
Yes. I mean, he bit his nails plumb down to the bone one time. No, he. It depends on how you want to classify it. In the early years and even somewhat in the later years, I mean, if he got nervous or something, he would bite on them, as a lot of us do. But as far as chewing them down to like the quicks he actually had nice looking uh, fingernails and
He kept groomed well.
hands for that matter. Yes, I mean not to be, but I mean we've talked about it.
Like it wasn't a habit.
I mean, there's
habit.
just not much, in my opinion, about Elvis Presley that could have been altered or fixed in any sort of way. I mean, when it's almost perfect, you really can't get any closer, and that's just the way I feel about that.
All right. History Maven says, I have met 100 or more people that said they were Elvis's cousin. How many times did people tell you they were related to Elvis?
Over my lifetime, I've heard it.
All the time, every day.
I've heard it a lot, and have fun with it. I know, 1 or 2 times through life, I was told and you know didn't believe it or think about it, and then come to find out, talking with mom and daddy and going through, it was a cousin that I had never actually, met. I mean, there's a lot. I have a lot of cousins. On both sides of my family, my mama's and my daddy's, and but you know, we've always had fun with it. Of some people uh, saying that or giving history to me, Teresa. We have before people that's known him and known reasons, and love listening to it and thinking, especially when and not, like I said, in any type of way of being any better than anybody else, because I'm not. Elvis was the man. I just, like I've said time after time, got to be blessed and live part of that life. But I listen to some people that would tell things and say things, and the whole time in my mind I'm thinking I was there and I lived there. So I mean, but I know what you're saying, and yes, I couldn't tell you the number of times.
Brains World Channel. Did Elvis ever question his pill and drug routine?
I'm assuming when you mean question, of maybe, and I'm just gonna go where I think maybe what you're talking about. If not, maybe I somewhat answered the question. Question his pill and drug routine as maybe, he was taking too much, or did he ever think about that, or this and that. And in my opinion and what I lived and seen, I don't think so. I mean, Elvis took drugs, but they were prescribed, and to him it was like his medicine, just like our medicine for blood pressure or diabetes or whatever people have and they take medicine for. And like I said, it's just me, but I felt like that he felt like that was his medicine, and maybe, maybe he felt like he needed it. It's hard to say.
Maybe it was prescribed by a doctor.
Right, what goes through Elvis's mind or what he thought, but I can only tell you from what I saw in him and my parents and so many other people that was close in his life. And I just, I personally don't think it was that way, or he questioned it. I think he thought it was somewhat all right, and really, and it unfortunately, got out of hand, but it does that with everybody. Elvis was only human, but hey, great question, and we try to answer each and every question, good or bad. So.
Okay, our friend Joanne, she'd like to know, if you could have worked for Elvis, what do you think your job would have been? Or what did you imagine your job?
Well, we all know how I felt about that. I mean, from the time that I was big enough to know and living out in California with Elvis and bop around, when he would call out the guys and all, I would always throw out there, I'm working. And steady growing up and then living at Graceland and being around, I always admired all those guys. And of course Elvis was like a superhero to me. And I mean, that's what my family did. My granddaddy, my daddy, a lot of other family members, my cousins and stuff, and that was just always my dream. But to actually have one job, I never really thought about it.
I think she's asking what type of things would you have done for him? Do you think he'd have you do?
Yes, and to answer, I would have done just like those guys did. Anything that was asking me to do, and I would have done it with pride and loved every minute of it. Excuse me, I can't get it out. But yeah, I mean, anything that was assigned to me. I mean, I didn't have a preference of what one certain thing that I would have liked to done, if that's what you're asking, Joanne. But like I said, anything that was asked of me, I'd have done it, and I'd have done it damn good. I can promise you that.
Mm-hmm. Triple D wants to know.
Triple D.
When you were playing in Graceland, did you ever hide something and wonder today if it was still there?
Teresa, when I read that question, I never really thought about it, y'all. And I read that question, and there was this one time that comes to mind. And like I said, doubt very seriously that it's even there. But one night we were downstairs and we were playing pool. And I'm going to go ahead and mention the name of a man come down with a young lady, James Colley. And he was kind of, let's just say, wasn't real nice and tried to be uppity. Anyway, come down and pretty much tried to kick us off the pool table and take it over. And he had that type of attitude. I'm sure the way he acted, he really didn't care for us teenagers and kids, and be honest, didn't really care for him. But I know he did, and he went. We was finishing up a game, and he went with young lady back up to do something, and it said he was going to come back and shoot pool. And basically, we needed to get off the table, so we thought, well, you know what, we'll fix you, buddy. So we finished, and we racked all the balls up except for the 8-ball, and we took it and hit it.
Or
So,
died.
I'll never tell. I'll never tell.
In the house or out of the house?
No, it was in the house, and the reason I say that because somebody may see this, and I mean, if it was found and they said it, then I would actually know that.
Oh, if they tell you where they found it?
Yeah, if it ever comes up, if that makes
Was
sense.
it hidden
And may not ever, because like I said, it wasn't really, it wasn't hid in a spot to never be found, but it wasn't just out in the open either. But this was a beautiful, wonderful question, and like I said, it just took me straight to that night and thought about it, and I have never thought about it before, and since then been thinking. And so far, I can't remember anything at Graceland that we hid besides that 8-ball that night. But like I said, if something comes out of it and it comes up, that's going to probably blow my mind. But I doubt it very seriously, because I'm sure it was probably found. And if it wasn't, they bought and changed out the pool racks, pool balls, basically. Every so often, anyway. So, but that was a great question. Is that all the questions we have, Teresa?
No, there's one more.
Okay.
Joy Cole. She says, I'm not pretty, never have been. If I had met Elvis, would he have ignored me?
I think I know what you're asking, and that's easy to answer, and a lot of Elvis's family out there could help answer that and tell you, just like I'm going to tell you in a minute. No, he would not have ignored you. And Elvis loved all his fans. And we feel the same way. We're all different. We have mean people in this world. But I mean, that's just life and the way it is. But I feel like every person in their own way, whatever it be, has something special.
Something beautiful about
and beautiful about them. And hey, let me just, who was the question from again?
Joy Cole.
Joy, and I'm not preaching, but never think that about yourself. Because in probably many ways, you're a beautiful person. I know that you're a beautiful person, and I know we thank you and we love you for watching and supporting and sending in a question. But no, Elvis would have never ignored any fan. As a matter of fact, he excuse me, went out of his way a lot of times to make sure that he tried to give the fans everything he could. He knew, and y'all, we've talked about it, and it can't help take me back and I won't mention any names. We all know, but your entertainers, your movie stars, and your stars of today, And, you know, you joke about it, but and we have them many times, you know, you get within 50 foot of their property and they want to call the police and have you arrested. Elvis opened his gates and there were people camped, if you will, on his grounds, on his land, every single day and night. And he loved each and every one of them and never, I mean,
never ran them off. Or
never run. No. I mean, I'm not saying if it, you know, if there was some situation or something, and law enforcement needed to be, but it was, but he always wanted it handled in the nicest and easiest way it could. But if those were far and in between, because Elvis fans are like no other fans in this world. And I say fans, y'all know I'm talking about they're Elvis family now. But they would have done nothing to hurt Elvis. Any of us kids, they went out of their way, watched us, looked over. I mean, we had the biggest family protecting us as kids running around at Grayson, more than anybody else in this world. So I hope that kind of answers your questions. Y'all, hey, we're loving it. Keep sending in some of these great questions. And remember, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to us. I like to always say, hey, subscribe and check out Mom and Daddy's channel if you hadn't. Elvis Fans Matter, because they've got some great, great stories. And remember, we got August coming up, y'all. Mom and Daddy's event sold out on the 13th to 14th. Those of you that was able to get tickets, hey, we're looking forward, me and Teresa, we're going to be there. We're looking forward to seeing you and enjoying it and having fun. But on the 12th, we're going to be at John Daly's.
you and I will be.
Me and Teresa, yes, at John Daly's on the 12th, and looking forward to that. And but any day that you can go to John Daly's event, hey,
He's always got good stuff.
go to it.
Interesting people to meet.
You'll get to see good stuff. You'll get to meet great people, and you'll feel like Elvis family. Hey, with that being said, I'm going to get out of here on this Wednesday afternoon and try to stay out of the sun and in the shade. Y'all do the same. Remember, we love you. And hey, y'all, we always live Elvis.
Hey y'all, thanks for watching this episode of the Memphis Mafia Kid. Please subscribe and hit that like button. Got an Elvis or MMK related question? Post it under the comments and we may answer it in a future video. And don't forget to check out Mom and Daddy's channel, EFM Elvis Fans Matter.